get outside today to do a little plein air, and this is December 17th, and it's over 70 degrees out here, and the sun's out. I couldn't resist it, so I just came outside here, and I want to take just a quick little. I did a quick sketch here of the tree here, and I'm just going to do a quick little exercise here, a little plein air just coming out and practicing painting subject, and also learning how to pick out the colors and so forth, and textures. So that's my subject, is this big old oak tree out here, and I got my travel palette, which has got all my colors, my palette in a bottle, my dot sprayer, palette in a bottle with water. So that's what I'm going to use to wet my palette up a little bit. Let's see. So my color will need a little bit of burnt sienna, a little bit of yellow ochre, maybe a little touch of ultramarine blue, and I think that will be enough colors I need to get me started. The background is just, I'm not going to worry about the background at this point. Bring this over here, and I have a little container here to hold. This is an old toothbrush holder that holds my watercolor brushes, and I have in here, I have a flat, half-inch flat, a little number 6 round, and a little brush here, a little fan brush here that I use for special textures and so forth. That keeps my brushes clean and dry. And I'm going to do here, just pick out some. I'll start out with the lighter colors. Here on the ground, a little bit of yellow ochre. So we'll get started here on the ground. Get some yellow ochre started. There's the leaves, the autumn leaves are here, all over the place. Get a little bit of texture here on the ground. And then we'll start building up the shape of the tree. It looks like a little bit of gray, so I'm going to mix a little bit of that ultramarine blue in with my burnt sienna. That's one of my go-to grays. And on this side, on the light side, there's going to be. See, I want to go over here. I'm going to stay in the center. So that's the gray. And I want to go up a little bit ways here to the first limb, and I'll come down. Gonna leave a little bit of white paper showing. And I'm using the side of the brush, and I'm doing some rough, semi-dry brush strokes. Just a little break in give a little texture there on the bark. So we'll go up here and let the tree go right off the top of the page. So I'm just playing with getting the color and a little bit of texture, and just going to just capture the object as I see it. Now over here on the right side, it gets a little bit darker. I'll put a little more burnt sienna, a little more burnt sienna, a little more ultramarine blue, so it's in shadow on this right side over here. So I'm going to take the darker value, mixing a little bit more of the ultramarine over here on the right side, and then just take a little bit of the little bit more water in the brush, and I'll do a little bit of blending. I don't want to stop and start. I want it to be a blend in between those two colors. And this the shape now, it comes down to the edge here. It has a little bend in it. So okay, now the one thing that caught my attention here was the shape of this one limb up here, which I thought was really neat. This one limb up here starts out. It comes out as a little bump. There's a little bump here in in the side of the tree right here. And then this branch comes out. Now I'm going to, instead of using a round brush, I'm going to just use a flat brush. I just want to get it in there. It comes out at an angle, slight angle, and then it bends, and it comes down. And then it has a sharp elbow, a sharp turn, and then it goes out again. It was an interesting shape I saw. That really what caught my eye, was the shape of that limb. And then there's another little limb that comes off, a little part of the limb that comes off here, a little branch or twig or something like that. So that was really what caught my eye, was the shape of that limb coming off the side of the old oak tree here. Now, as I'm sitting here, there's the shadow coming down. It's noontime, or close to noon, very close, yeah, noon, about 12 o'clock. So the sun is very high. So I'm getting a overhead lighting, not overhead, but coming down at a sharp angle. So I'm going to have a little bit of shadow coming down from that limb onto the trunk, which makes it, it's not a solid shadow. It's got I would say dappled, like a dappled shadow, because it's coming through the limbs are here. There's no leaves on the branches, so it's dappled through the branches above. So that's interesting also, okay, the dappled edge, the light and dark there in the shadow. Okay, now let me go on, let me finish up let me pick up some more yellow ochre here, and let's put a little more definition here in the ground. These leaves come up here, lying on the ground around the tree. They've been raked up a couple times around the base. But there's lots of lights and dark browns here from the oak leaves. So I'm using a little bit of yellow ochre mixed in with a burnt sienna, and giving a little bit of texture. Edges. A little bit of dry brush stroke here. Just going to rough in, get the base coat down of yellow ochre, then go back in with the burnt sienna and put in some of the texture, looking at leaves and so forth. Now I have a line over here that's coming across the base of this. So I have an angle here that's coming off the base here toward the end of the foreground, or actually middle. This is really the middle ground here. Middle ground. So there's a line going across here with a little bit of where the lawn hits the pavement over there, and that's going to be lighter. So I'm just going to put that in, just to show it. There's a little bit here, and there we go. So normally I would work at an easel set up, but I'm really just I just got my cell phone hooked up here onto a tripod, and I'm really jury-rigged this a little bit real quickly just to have a chance to do a little outside painting. And I wanted to see if it was any successful on how I did this. Now in the background, I'm not going to do the actual background here, but I'm going to put a little bit of blue, mixed in a little bit of green. I want to have a little bit of greenery in the background just to give it a little different touch. So the background is just going to be a real faded bluish brown, or bluish and green, blue and green mixture, and I just want that to be a real light wash. So I'll put a lot of water. I'll mix a lot of water in with that, make it lighter. So it'll give me just an opportunity there just to have a little bit of, and then I can indicate something back in the background. It could be some trees, and there are trees there in the background. I'm going to put a couple of those in just to show shapes or something back there. And it should be all fuzzy. I want it out of focus. I don't want anything to be defined. And this branch over here, really interesting. The way it bends out from the trunk of the tree, that makes a real sharp turn and twist, and goes on out here to the end. So that's a really interesting. And the shadow power needs to be a little darker on the right side here, because the sun is coming from the left to the right. So this is darker back here. This edge is in shadow, so I need to put a little more dark value over here. So looking at the value between the sun side and the light side, I'm evaluating the value between light and dark, which not light and dark, but what's in shadow and what's in light. And the part that's the transition here becomes a combination of light and dark, so it just kind of fade out those edges. So that's really I couldn't pass up the opportunity to sit out here in this wonderful sunlight, 70 plus degrees in December, middle of December, and just to have something to paint. So I picked this old oak tree to capture the light coming in with a real interesting limb up here popping out, and then the shadow part. And then there's another, what I want to add here is maybe another element here. Off of this trim here, there's a branch. There's a branch coming off here, and I want to pull that in here so I can capture that. So it comes out here. The tree has some branches to it, and it goes down out into the shadow. And I think I'll capture that. It makes it interesting also. It comes off that edge right there, and then also kind of breaks out here. So this little branch here is also an interesting shape. It comes out, and it comes down, and it has another part of the branch that comes down. And there's all kinds of little twigs or little parts of the limb that come off. So these branches have these real small branches. These branches have these real small twigs that come off them. So I want to capture that also. So there's this curvy branch, and there's this one come down here, and all the other branches are way up in the sky. So I'm not going to mark those. This is the one I want to capture right there. Okay. So I just want to give a quick sunlight there. I just put the date down of when it was done, so that's just indication there. Okay, that concludes my little fun in the sun